the eleaf istick. Let's have a look. So today up for review is the eleaf istick. This is a very small, very discreet 20-watt device. Very nice fit in the hand. Specs as far as it goes with this device, it will fire a coil down to 1 ohm, and that's it. From 1 ohm up to 3 ohms. Right now I've got a Nautilus Mini on here at 1.9 ohms, 1.9 ohm coil, probably a 1.8 ohm coil I do believe that's in this Nautilus Mini. Again, variable wattage and variable voltage involved in this small discrete device. Definitely not for the sub-ohmers, but the experience that I have had with this device has been really good. As far as its portability, it has a pass-through feature so you can vape it while it charges, and the battery life on this thing is amazing. So let's have a vape, talk some more about it. You can see how tiny this thing is. This is a mechanical pencil. You can see just how tiny this device is. I mean, it's just compared to the IPv3. I mean, dual 18650, and this is an 18650 device as well, but it has the battery is built into it. So, but in the up and close, we'll go ahead, we'll have a look at the features of this device, and I'm going to disassemble this device. Now, I do not recommend you doing so unless you are experienced in or mechanically inclined to be doing such things. There is absolutely no reason to be taking apart one of these. If the battery somehow craps out on you, which I haven't heard of yet, that's probably the only reason you would have to take one of these apart, unless you spill coffee or something all over this and you wanted to clean it. I'll show you how to take it apart without having to cut any wires, nothing like that. As you can see, I've taken mine apart and put it back together with only having to undo and then redo the screws on this device, and that's it. But so far the experience with this has been really good, especially with the Nautilus tanks. They work very well on this. I'm not a big Nautilus tank user. I do drip most of the time, but as far as a device goes with using tanks, this device works very well. I also, to accommodate my dripping habit or my like of dripping, what I have here is a Smock mini dripper that I had purchased from Fast Tech, I do believe. Now, it did have a pin size airflow hole on that, and what I had managed to do was drill a couple air holes on this, which actually had required special bits that will allow you to drill through stainless steel. Let's see if I can get this out. Yeah, there it is. It's just a simple, you've got turn knob style posts, and it's just a single coil running at I do believe it's 1.2 ohms. We'll go ahead, we'll have a look here. Actually, I believe it's a 1.9. No, it's a 1.2 ohm resistance coil. She looks pretty juicy right now. So this is the Smock mini dripper on there. You just drip right through the top and you have a mini dripper. And we'll run this at the full 20 watts. And this is another feature of the device. It auto scrolls up for you. So we'll let it do its thing. I do believe if you double click or click it again, it will auto scroll a little bit faster, but there you go. We're at 20 watts. So with that mini dripper, it just chucks the cloud. See if I can get some more juice here added to this. Well, 5-6 drips in there. So if you can get your hands on one of these Smock mini drippers and you want to use this device and still drip, I highly suggest using one of these, or even I'm not too sure about the disposable drippers, the small cylindrical ones. I have yet to own one of those. I have no use for them really. I think they're more for testing or tasting juices along those lines, because they're wickless, right? So again, with the Nautilus Mini, we'll have a vape. So you can see right here, if I can get the camera to zoom in on that or focus, it's at 15.9 watts. You didn't see me change the wattage from 20 watts down to 15.9. That is what the device has deemed necessary for that ohm resistance coil. The 1.9 ohm resistance coil, you will not be able to get the full 20 watts. The device is downscaling the wattage for you for some reason. Now, as far as voltage goes and changing the voltage and everything like that, it's very basic. Same thing as the wattage. If you are using a variable voltage device and you go and buy one of these, you'll be set to go for the type of settings you're used to. I have heard from some other users that do use the variable voltage feature that the device runs a bit hotter at the same voltage settings that they're using on, say, what's the device? The Sigelli. Variable voltage devices like that this one is actually running a bit hotter, so a 3.5 volt setting will, or a 3.7 volts setting will actually feel more like a 4.2 volt setting. Stuff like that. You get the point, right? Over the last 3-4 weeks, almost a month now, it's not my main everyday device. I should start using this just because of the battery life, but right now I'm stuck on my IPv2. That is my everyday reliable vape. So we'll go ahead, we'll go to the up and close, we'll have a look at this, some of the features, we'll take it apart, then we'll come back. We'll talk about where you can get it, how much is it going to cost you. Alright guys, so let's have an up close look at the eleaf iStick. Now, this is the box it comes in. Now, I have heard of there being, I think, 3 different style packages or boxes that this device will come in. This one was just a very, very simple box inside. Now, I do believe the reason for there being a couple different styles of the way the device comes is because of certain add-ons or extra parts, extra features, not extra features to the device, but just added packaging, such as a USB charger, the wire, an added 510 connection, stuff like this. I know I've seen 2 of them, 3 of them so far. One is just this style box with just the device in it, and then this style box with the device and then a 510 adapter in it, And then I've seen a box style where the lid kind of slips away from a smaller bottom box, and inside that is going to be the device, the charge cable, the 510 connection, ego threading adapter, and all of that. So very simple box, just some nomenclature on the sides there, barcode. It does come in a lot of different colors. You can see here with threaded ego connector. See, no USB, if that's in focus for you guys, no USB. It does come in black, blue, silver, and red, but the red is not a red, it is a pink. Almost not a hot pink, but a darker, not red pink. So in this package, what I received was the Ego 510 threaded connection. So all that came in my packaging was the 510 Ego adapter. So it has your 510 in the center and then your Ego threading on the outside, so you can use your Kanger style tanks. If I do have one floating around here, we've got an old EVOD tank. You can just see here, Ego threading, which makes it nice if you're still using these tanks, which there is no problem, is, you know, if you're not smoking and you're still using these, there's no problem with that at all. So as far as features go on this device, you can see we have our display here. We are set at 15.9 watts. We press the button, no atomizer. The scroll feature on this, or auto scroll feature, is quite nice. You just press and hold the button for a second, and it starts auto scrolling for your enjoyment. Hit it again, it seems to scroll a little bit faster. Opposite direction to stop the auto scroll. Individual by increments of 0.1. Hold again and auto scroll begins. Now what I really like about this device is it has a real-time resistance meter. See if I can get that in focus a little bit better for you guys. So you can see our resistance on top here, and I'm just going to screw in this Nautilus Mini, and you can see it picked up the resistance right away. 0.2 ohm coil. It was saying 1.9 before, might just be that I have to clean the threads, but yeah, you can see it has its stopwatch counter, also gives you your wattage readout, what you are set to, and then a 10-second stop. And that's about it for the features, guys. To switch over to variable voltage, you click the button 3 times, the fire button 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Switches over to variable voltage. Again, auto scroll feature, and it's going to tell you what wattage is going to be applied at 5.5 volts with this resistance. Again, auto scroll feature, reverse direction to stop auto scroll, and it's going to give you your voltage readout there as well, telling you that it's in variable voltage, and 10-second cutoff. So that's about it for the features, guys. Now I did shoot the disassembly of this device on a different day, so we'll cut to that and you guys can check that out. Again, I do not advise anybody doing this unless you absolutely have to. 18650 or lithium batteries are dangerous, so please, if you decide to do this, please be careful. There is almost absolutely no reason for you to open this device. Please leave it to the professionals. Over disassembly of the eleaf istick with you. The required tools that you're going to need for this are going to be a T6 style bit, along with a screwdriver, and you're going to need some kind of dentistry pick, or if you have a plastic kind of pry tool for removal of cell phone screens, that kind of stuff. I'm just using this pick because this is all I have around with me right now. You can see that there are 2 screws on top and 2 screws on bottom, and that's going to allow us access to both ends of the device, except for the 510. There are wires attaching it, and the 510 is connected or attached to this upper plate here as well. But before we get to undoing these screws first, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to take our pick here. Actually, you know what? I've got it backwards. We're going to remove the screws first. So with our T6, just going to put some pressure on each screw as we are unscrewing it. And the screws are quite long. Just unscrew both screws. Repeat on the bottom of the device. I am putting quite a bit of pressure into the screw just to make sure that I'm not going to strip the head of the screw at all. And that's just a little piece of advice that I'm going to give you as far as undoing the screws go. And you do this at your own risk. I will not be held responsible for stripped screws, ruined devices, stuff like that. So we have our bottom plate. We're going to remove this first. Very simple, very easy to remove. Nothing attached to it, just the hole for the charge port there. Now we'll go ahead and just loosen up the top. Now you have to be careful with loosening up the top. I just like to loosen it up just like that, and that's it. There are wires holding this 510 connection in. And the next step we are going to take is on the very end of the device here. You can see how there's 2 layers of plastic, then the actual aluminum base to this faceplate here that holds all these plastic components together or onto the actual casing of the device. All we're going to do is stick our pick or wedge just in between the tinted layer and the clear layer, and we're just going to loosen that up a little bit. And then it's a little loose because this is the second time I've done this, but before I've just run my pick just down the side of it, and it's loosened up everything the whole length down. Now be prepared, if you're going to do this, there is a layer of glue underneath of this that is in like a strip form or a tape form. Yeah, like a roll of tape style sticky adhesive. Be prepared to lose some of that adhesive, if not all of it, in the process of doing this. So be prepared to have a backup plan for re-adhering some glue to this. So you can see that we have a clear plastic layer still left here, and we have another piece of plastic left here as well. And all we're going to do for that is just get our pick just right into the very end again over here, It is quite difficult. I almost did scratch the surface of it. You can pry right behind the button there, and then just up. Again, be prepared to lose that sticky adhesive. On here I'm pretty lucky, I've been able to keep it intact. So then we just had that little piece of tinted plastic there. Now our buttons just pop straight out. You can see that here. This is our power button. These are our directional up and down buttons. They just fall right out. Okay, so our directional buttons there. And then what that's going to allow us to do is, if you can see down the end here, right there, that little block, that is our tactile button. And with these style of buttons where they have these pegs on them, what's going on is, as soon as you try to slide this board out the top of the device, those pegs on those buttons catch. So removing the buttons is the first step to removing the actual board itself from this device. And then from then on, you go from the bottom of the device where the charge port is, and you just place your thumb over the whole thing and push forward, and you grab the board from the top and remove the sleeve. That's it. We have the inside of our iStick. You can see it's just a simply wrapped 18650 battery there. Not too sure what brand it is. We've got some padding around the screen here, just I would assume for some kind of shock prevention. Also a heat sink, and we have very low gauge wire going to our, or very high gauge wire going to our 510 connection. It's really tiny wire. We've got padded ends on both ends of the battery, which is nice to avoid any kind of shock to the battery. We have our case here. You can see it's just empty, nothing else inside that. And yeah, you hit the power button here, everything works fine still. And that's it, guys. That's the disassembly of the iStick. Alright, there you guys go. We had the up close look at the eleaf iStick. Now, where can you get it? How much is it going to cost you? Now, when these first were released, now I'm filming this video about almost a month after its release, or when vendors were starting to get them in. They do fly off the shelves pretty quickly. These are very compact, very appealing devices to most. Again, not a sub-ohm device, but if you drip, you can use the mini smock dripper, which I choose to use, or you can use an RDA on it, but you're going to have to build above 1 ohm resistance. And I think the closer you get to 1 ohm, the allowance on the device will allow you to get the full 20 watts. Where did I get mine? I got mine at a local B&M. I got mine at Hayes Vape Co. Now, if you live in Canada and you would like to order from Hayes Vape Co., you can. They will ship Canada wide. I know Sean at Hayes Vape Co. right now has a good amount of stock in for these devices, so if you are having trouble finding this device and you live in Canada, go check out Hayes Vape Co. He's got a plethora of colors. I do believe he's got all 4 colors in right now, and they do come with the Ego 510 adapter. I do believe you can double check with Hayes Vape Co. on their site. You can even use the contact them link on the website and ask. It should be letting you know on the website what comes with the device. Mine did not come with a USB charge wire, but that's okay, because it uses a micro USB charging cable. If you use an Android device, I do believe that Android devices use the micro USB cable. Very, very simple. I mean, if you already have devices using the micro USB, then you're already set up. You don't need it to come with one. I know I've got a lot of devices, every single one of them came with a micro USB. So how much should you be expected to pay for this? Now, this device ranges depending on what style of packaging you get with certain add-ons such as the USB wire, the Ego thread adapter, and I think that's all it comes with. It depends. You can get this, just the device, I think by itself. I thought I read somewhere for $39. Hayes Vape Co. is asking $50 for the device itself in your choice of 4 colors. So there you guys go. That is my review of the eleaf iStick, which I have been enjoying a lot. So if you're looking for this style format of device, go ahead, pick one up. I recommend it. I haven't had any issues with this device whatsoever so far. So yeah, guys.